Hello and welcome to the 6th video in this BiteSize Pandas series. In this video it's the first of a few videos on merging, which is one of the key functionalities when you start using pandas, and probably one of the most misunderstood and badly explained as well, particularly for beginners. So hopefully I can give you a good explanation for a beginner of how merging works. Merging is very, very powerful, often needed, but often a cause of errors in the data because you can lose data or duplicate data very, very easily. Merging can be seen as exactly the same or more or less the same. It's got a few more options and a bit more power in pandas as joining in SQL. So I've prepared some code which you can already download as always here because I wanted to make a little bit of a head start. Creating two data frames. One's called animal data with weight, animal and age, and one's called animal towns, the animal and the town the animal lives in. And what I'd like to do is, let's imagine I'm doing some data analysis and I want to although I've got the weight and age of my animal here, I actually want to have the town the animal lives in as well as a new column on my data frame. And I can do that by doing a merge. And with the merge, there are various things we have to say. We have to say what two data frames I'm going to merge. One will be the left data frame and one will be the right data frame. And I have to say what I'm going to merge on. On being, what are the values that both data frames should have in common. So the way that will then work is, for example, if I say I want animal data to be the left data frame and I want to merge on animal, what will happen is, and then I want the animal towns to be the right data frame. What that means is pandas will say, okay, animal data is the left, so I will take the first row of the left and then go through every row of the right. And where I find the animal value being the same, I'll take the other values in the right-hand data frame, animal towns, and add them onto the left data frame, which in this case would just be the town. So let's have a look at that and then I would carry on with every row. When I complete every row, I would then take the next row in my left-hand data frame, which would be the cat, and do the same thing, and then the pig, and then the horse. So let's have a look at how that might look then as a result. I'm just going to make some space so I can scroll down because as ever I've not got enough space. And the command we use for this is pd.merge. So I'm going to say I'm going to have a merge data frame and that's going to be equal to pd.merge. And now I have to give some options. If I do Shift Tab, you can see that we've got quite a few. We're going to concentrate ourselves with the first 6. So left, right, how, on, left on, and right on, and ignore the rest. And I'll try and explain in this video what these are before we get into more complicated things. So as I've said, the left, first of all, will be what's the data frame on the left. In this case, it will be animal data. And right will be our animal towns. And now there's another option there, which was the how option, which was actually defaulting to inner. We're going to put that anyway. If you just Shift and Tab to look at the options, you can see how is inner. We're going to put that here, even though it's already inner anyway, because there's outer, left, and right, and I'll explain those in a future video. For now, I'll stick with inner. And then we need to say what we're merging on. And in our case, we're merging on animal. And that's all we need to do. I execute that and then have a look at the result that we get, if I don't mess up the keys here. And you can see that we only get 2 results, which is a bit strange at first because each of our data frames has 4. So let's look step by step at what the pd.merge actually did here. So we said we want to take animal data as our left. We want to do an inner merge, which I'm coming to. And we want to merge on animal. So we take the first row of our left data frame where we've got 14 dog and age, and now we look at the first row of the right data frame where we've got dog and London. We want to merge on the value of animal being the same. In this case it is. Good, then we'll make it our first row, our row of animal data, 14 dog and 10, and tack on any other values from the right-hand data frame animal towns, which in this case is just the town, so London, and create a new row for our merged data frame that's 14 dog, 10, and London. Then we'll go to cat. Bear in mind we've still got our first row of animal data. We'll have a look at the second row of animal towns. Animal doesn't match. We'll go to tiger, it doesn't match, and we'll go to duck, and it doesn't match. And in the case of inner, we will only give results where whatever we're merging on matches in both of the data frames. That's different for left, right, and outer, which we'll have a look at in a later video. For inner, we'll only give results where those values match. And you can already see that there's a possibility to lose a lot of data. Our resulting data frame has lost us our data for our cat, tiger, duck, pig. Has lost our data for our pig, horse, tiger, and our duck. They've disappeared from our results, and you might not want that. And like I said in a later video, we'll have a look at how we can use left, right, and outer. So then we end up with a result looking like this. You'll also notice that we've got the option of left on and right on inside the merging as well. We would use those in the case where the column names are not the same in both the data frames. So for example, if I put name instead of animal, this will now give me an error. It's a key error because it can't find animal as a key in the animal towns. It's now names. And in this case, I would have to say, okay, I'm using my left on is animal, but now my right data frame is slightly different. I have to use that now equivalent to name. And the other thing is, you'll remember that I said that when we're doing the join, we take this row, and then if we find in common what we're using to join, merge on, which is animal and name in this case, to tack on any new values from the right-hand data frame. Well, both of these are new because name and town both don't exist in weight, animal, and age, and therefore our merged data frame will also have the name added on as well, but the values, the data inside, are still the same. So that's very, very good, but there's some other strange things that can happen with inner joining as well, apart from losing your data where the values don't match. Let's do something else. Let's change the tiger to a dog and have a look at what we get. I'm just going to change as well to keep things a bit smaller, this column name back here, so that we've now got a different data frame with animal town again, and I can just use on an animal and take off this right on to keep things a little bit smaller. So now we're going to run our merge again, but this time with slightly changed data, and we get 3 rows. And our 14 kilo dog, age 10, appears now twice, living in London and in Paris. So what's happened there? Well, if we look at the way it worked with the inner merge, we took our left data frame, started with the first row, dog, and then we went through every row of the right. Well, in the first row, things match, so we'll create a new row with London. In the second row, we've got a cat, doesn't match, but in the third row, we've got another dog, so we'll create another row with weight 14, dog, and 10, but this time with Paris added on, and then the duck doesn't match, and so on. So the merge will merge and give you a new row for every instance where there is a match between the value in the merging column that you specified. You can also merge on more than one column. That's the last thing I want to do in this video. I want to add on a new column that I'm going to call feet inside here, which is a little bit ridiculous, but bear with me. The number of feet or paws in the case of a dog that the animal has. So in this case with the dog here, I'm going to say that it's got 4 paws. I'm going to say this cat has, this pig has, and this horse has. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the data frame below as well. And just let's put 4 for this. Let's put 3 for this dog, and then for the others we'll put 4 again as well. I'm struggling with the keyboard a little bit because it's new and it's a different layout to my old keyboards. So now we've got our data frames this time with feet. And why have I done this? Well, you'll notice this dog in London only has 3 paws or feet. And if I now, and this could be seen as something else that identifies this dog, because I've got my duplicated dogs down here, 14 kilos, 10 years old. Now one's the one with 3 feet and one's the one with 4 feet. So I could say, okay, I'd like to join these two together, merge these 2 data frames together, but I want to take the data where the animal is the same and the number of feet are the same. So to do that, instead of just specifying this alone like so, I actually can create a list of the things I want to merge on. So I don't just want to merge on the animal name, but I also want to merge using the feet column as well. And this time I get just the 2 results that I expected. So how did this one merge? And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it's important to get the concept. So let's look what happened here. We had our left data frame as animal data. We had our right data frame as animal towns. Okay. We said we're going to do an inner, which means that whatever we're merging on, we must have the same values present in both of the data frames to get a resulting row. So we take the first row and we've got, and we said, sorry, that we're going to merge on animal and feet. So we take the first row and we've got animal dog feet 4. So this time we'll look at the first row of animal towns. We have got animal dog, but not feet 4, so we won't create a new row. Cat is not a dog. We've got dog as the animal and feet 4 in this row, however, so we will create a new row adding on Paris. So we get in the result, weight 14, dog as the animal, age 10, feet 4, and Paris. And I'm sure you can work out with the cat, we've got the Milan, etc. And you can also do this as a left on and right on as well. So if the columns are named differently, for example, so rather than in towns calling it feet, I called it paws, let's say, instead. Then I can do exactly the same kind of thing here. My right on, and this time animal is still the same, but now I want to use the paws. I don't have feet. And I get exactly the same result in my merge data frame. But remember, it'll take any values that are not, any columns that are not in the left-hand side data frame and add them on from the right, so I get the pause as well, like this. So that then I hope gives you an introduction to how you do merging of data using pandas. In the next video, we're going to have a look at the outer, the left, and the right merging, and look at what comes out of that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Any questions, please pop me a comment. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching and see you in the next one.